Okay, here's a question that looks quite long with lots of words in it, but it's really very straightforward. We've got a situation with a bag of 10 balls with an experiment being done from them, but then they don't ask you to think about that because they give you the probability distribution. They didn't have to do that. You might want to think about how you would have arrived at these probabilities from that description, but that's not part of this question. All we have to do is fill in the missing probability, and you know that all the probabilities add up to 1. So finding the value of A couldn't be much easier. Hence, write down the value of expectation of X. Now there's a formula on page 11 of your formula book for calculating the expectation of X, but you probably don't have to use it. There's a hint here, write down, and it's only worth 1 mark. So after you've got the value of A, you might notice something about the table that makes it obvious what the expected value is, and you can take a shortcut and just write it down. For determining the standard deviation of X, there you will need the formula on page 11 of your formula book, which is for the variance. Don't forget, the variance isn't the same thing as the standard deviation. You'll have to square root it. You could lose a mark by forgetting to do that. But it should be 5 easy marks, that one. Part B of the question, we've got a similar situation, but this time only 2 balls are selected from the bag, but once again they just give you the probability distribution for nothing. We've got to determine whether Joanne can expect to make a profit or loss from playing the game once. Now these values of Y are not her profits. You need to decide what her profit is for each of these outcomes using this information here. So rather than looking at the probability distribution for Y, if you'll set up the distribution table for her profit, then you'll be able to work out what her expected profit is each time the game is played to answer that part of the question. And then to find out the expected profit or loss after 100 games, all you need to do is take that expectation and scale it up because of the 100 games. And that's the end of what should be an easy question.